Hello, and welcome to Big Sound Small Town. I'm your host, Sandy Carlton. The small towns and communities of Cleveland County, North Carolina have long been a hotbed of music in all its many forms. Several Cleveland County musicians have found commercial success and critical acclaim in the music industry. Yeah, everybody knows that Earl Scruggs, Don Gibson, Patty Loveless, and Alicia Bridges are from Cleveland County. Donald Byrd, too. So this is not a podcast about them. This is a podcast about the musicians who are still here and keep music alive here. This is the stories, and you need to know them and know the people who are making the music. This is not your normal podcast.
Somehow we just can't love anymore. I know you're crying your love, I'm denying. Can't you see this can't go on? It's got to be over, you're tied to another. It's over, Lorena, go home.
All right, today on Big Sound Small Town, my guest is the voice of bluegrass in Cleveland County, Mr. Ray Allison.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm great.
All right. So tell me about when you first started in the bluegrass. Well, no, let's back up. Before that, tell me how music started for you.
Well, music started with me from my mom and my little brother. We was about 8 or 9, and we played in church, and when we got a little older, when I was about 11 or 12, we'd do the radio shows. We'd get up early Saturday morning, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and have to be at Waggy Studios there in Forest City to do a radio show. We'd follow Hubert Davis and Seasoned Travelers, and then we'd come to Shelby an hour later and do the show there, follow them again, and go on down to WKMT in Kings Mountain and do the radio show there. Then we'd get back home, and then we'd crawl back into bed for about an hour or two, and then get up and start our Saturday mornings like normal children.
That's pretty good. That's good. Now, were you just singing then, or were you playing?
Singing and playing. My mom, she taught me how to play the mandolin, a few chords on the mandolin, when I was maybe 7 or 8, and I just played the mandolin. And my brother, he played the bass, and Mom, she played guitar. She could play about anything. She played piano in church, and we sang. And but most of my bluegrass roots started when I was young, and I guess 8 or 9 down on the Lily Mill Hill.
Oh yeah.
And that's where Hubert and Davis and Pee Wee Davis lived. And you know, the old mill houses I was talking a while ago, the old mill houses had them high back porches, and you know, and they every Friday and Saturday night there would be somebody playing on the back porch at the Lily Mill Hill. Back there we called it the back line then, and so we'd crawl up under the porch, but we had to be quiet. They'd let us stay on the back porch and listen. We had to be quiet, and I kept thinking, am I ever going to get on the porch? Am I ever going to be able to get on the porch? So when I was about, I maybe been 11, Mom bought me a guitar, showed me a few chords on it, and Hubert, he showed me a few things on it, and then finally, I guess when I was about 14 or 15, Marty Francis, he got him a dobro, and Keith Fortenberry was there, and we just youngins, but we finally got to get on the back porch and pick, and that was it was just like we was on the Grand Ole Opry or something other. You couldn't have, that's the greatest. I look back on it now. That's one of the greatest enjoyment times that I had, being introduced to the music at an early age.
Oh yeah. Well, now once being on that back porch, did that pretty well that set the stage for you?
It put the fire under me. It did. It really put the fire under me.
So all right, we're on the back porch. What happens after that? I mean, where does the music go for you after that?
Well, Keith Fortenberry and I, we played together for several years there. Marty Francis and several others there around the Mill Hill, and I grew up on North Washington Street over there in Shelby, and but you couldn't keep me away from the Mill Village down there, and on Friday and Saturday nights, because my mom, she would go, and she was one of the back porch pickers too.
Oh, yeah.
And so we just had a great time, and as we got older, got into a little country music and a little rock and roll. Just, the Beatles came around, and but always my heart was in bluegrass, and that's just where I've stayed.
Well, now I know that you've played with nearly everybody that you can even think of in the bluegrass field. How'd you get yourself work there? I mean, did that come from a band or just knowing people?
Well, knowing people and people introducing me to people, and I enjoyed what I was doing, and they must have liked it because they let me do it with them.
Did you always know you had a really big and powerful, strong voice?
No, just I would try to sing low because I would be out running.
That's funny to me. I'll tell you why in a minute.
I'd be out running the instruments, but I guess I couldn't hear myself. When you got a banjo and a bass and a guitar just blaring, you can't hear yourself. And my mom would say, "Sing louder, Ray, I can't hear you." And I started saying, "Well, turn them banjos and everything down." But they couldn't turn them down because they wasn't electrified. So I said, I believe I could get high enough to sing with, so somebody can hear me over that. Because back in the day when you knew what people were saying, but you really couldn't understand, couldn't hear them right.
True.
And I said, "Well, I want somebody to hear me." And so I just kept getting a little louder, and a little louder, and a little louder. And I guess it just progressed.
First time I ever heard him sing, he was singing above a banjo and a fiddle. I could understand every word, and he was louder than them. Powerful voice. Great voice. I mean, you're blessed with a good voice.
Oh, well, thank you.
I mean, your voice is what's pretty well carried you through your musical career.
It sure ain't my musical ability. But I still play guitar, and hadn't picked up the mandolin in years, and I still write a lot.
That's what I was going to ask you about. Now I know that you write your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When did you start doing that?
Oh, I guess when I was 17 or 18. What got me? Well, this is a little funny story here. I had a little girlfriend that in school, and so I was going to write her a poem. And man, I dwelled on that thing for about 2 weeks, and I finally finished it. And I thought, well, this is the greatest thing. I'm gonna give this to her, and she's just gonna love me to death, and they ain't gonna never look at another man, and we're gonna get married. And that's just the way it's gonna be. It's all on account of this poem. So I wrote the poem and give it to her, and I was just smiling. I was just so glad. And she took the poem and read it and started laughing.
Oh no!
Broke my heart.
Oh, I'm sure.
Anyway, I said, well, I didn't write anything else after that for a year or two. Then around 20, I started putting some stuff together and just sitting down and writing. I've never had no formal training on doing that. Just God gave me the gift, I guess, and been writing ever since.
Now, did you start working those into your show when you play?
Well, no, because I was a little embarrassed.
I understand that too.
At first, put anything that I'd written, because there was so much great stuff out there. Bill Monroe, Flatt and Scruggs, and I'm telling you, I thought mine was just junk. So I had about half a book full of my stuff, and I got in this band, and they said, we need some new material. And I said, well, I'll write some. And they all looked and scratched their head. Well, what do you write? And I said, well, songs. I said, I write songs. Well, let's hear a few of them. So I pitched a few of them to them, and they said, well, we can use them two there, but not too sure about them others.
Yeah.
And I said, so we started. That's how it began. A few here and a few there.
Well, it is hard. It is, for people who have never written a song before, you just don't know how hard it is to perform your own song for somebody the first couple of times. I mean, that's hard.
It is.
I mean, it's harder to perform a new song for someone, particularly someone you know, than it is for a stranger.
It is. It is.
I mean, I don't know why that is,
Right.
but it is. I mean, that's I guess it's, you can get yourself disappointed so easily.
Oh, really? I'm telling you what. And when you pitch a song to someone, for years, friends have called and different bands and stuff said, Ray, we need a song. We need an upbeat tempo song. Do you have that? And I said, well, I don't know. Come over and listen to some of the stuff I got. And maybe you might like some of it. I might have what you're looking for.
Right.
And they'll come over and they'll say yay or nay, and they ain't gonna hurt my feelings either way.
Right.
And just enjoy doing it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part of music that a lot of people can play, but there's not that many people that can write their own stuff.
Well, that's.
Do you have a favorite of yours that you've written?
I guess it'd be a song I wrote about my dad. It's called "The Mill Village." How we grew up, and my dad died of brown lung and emphysema from working in the cotton mill.
Yeah.
And it was years after he passed that I sat down and wrote the song. And, it's been recorded, I guess, 5 or 6 times, and I hadn't made $1 million off of it, but
right.
I get a few royalties off of it. But I guess that's one of my favorites.
That's good. That sounds well. We're sitting here the day before Father's Day, which is, it's kind of a coincidence.
Yes, it is. I hope my youngest get me something good.
Yeah, me too.
Like a new Grateful Dead T-shirt.
That would be good. I would even go with that. I know that you passed your singing voice on to at least one of your children.
Well, 2 of them.
2 of them.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. I mean, it's a musical family, no doubt.
Yeah, Justin and Josh, they do a real good job. I'm proud of them.
Okay. You want to do a song?
Well, I really can't.
That's right.
I've had some surgery on this arm, and I really can't make a chord on it. It really bothers me, but maybe some other time I will.
Okay. So what you got going on these days?
Well, I'm retired and just fooling around the farm here and at the cows and playing out a couple times a month, and that's all I want to do is because I want to have time for me and time to travel. I've been traveling a lot, and just enjoying my grandyoungins and just living life the way life should be lived.
I do understand that. So you do still get to play some?
Oh yeah. They take pity on me and let me go out with them a couple times a month.
Yeah, they don't really. Trust me, they beg him to go, but that's good. I guess that as long as you can do it, you're going to do it.
I will.
That's good. Well, I've enjoyed having you today.
Oh, I enjoyed.
I've really enjoyed it. This man has a ton of stories. If you ever get a chance to chat with him or hear him sing and play, you need to get out and do that.
Get me a Tennessee woman, that's the only kind. I'm gonna get me a backwoods woman, leave this old town behind. Wanna get back to the country, back to them old tall pines. We'll walk together through the green fields, me and that little mountain woman of mine. Thank you so much. Thank you. Old Virgil Clemens was a mean old man, lived back in the hills. He never had a family, he had a big old still. When the revenuers got too